All right,
Right now.
we are live with the one and only Andrew Becker of multiple successful businesses. Thanks for being on today.
What's up, dude? Ignore the black eye, please. I don't know how it happened, but I'm working my way through it, man.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll get you into some local jujitsu lessons so that you can protect yourself at all
Yeah.
times.
You have any coupons I could use? I can't afford them, but that'd be great. If I can get like one free lesson, I think I'll be fine.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, I think right now you can't afford not to.
I guess so. If I wake up tomorrow with the other one black, then I'll call you.
Call me, call me. Yeah. And so today we're talking specifically about probate engineers. And we were introduced by mutual friend Zach. And when we start talking, like you've ran a successful real estate team. You guys did how many probates have you guys done? It's a lot.
Hundreds over the last 7, 8 years. I've told you this before, but our top three lead sources, Charlie, have been PP for the longest as I can remember, have been PPC, joint venture, and then probates. Kind of JV and probates, kind of switch back and forth, but very well versed in
Yeah.
probates. It's an excellent lead source. If those listening out there haven't heard of it or looked into it yet, I highly suggest it. Obviously,
And one of the things I love about you is like you're so good at building systems that live long beyond you controlling and running it. So like I mean, you're great at PPC, so you built a business that other people actually pay you to run their successful PPC.
right?
You built a CRM to manage the deal flow that you had to come in, and now you've got the probate engineers where I've been going through the course
Yeah.
and you lay out from day one, like how to get day one probates all the way to like how to run like a successful business that like really runs 90% without you. Um, why are you building the course? I mean, why are you giving away all your secrets?
Honestly, dude, and I love that you're going through the course, and I love having you in the inaugural class here. But I've had so many conversations with people at Brighter PPC, our agency that runs Google Ads for investors, and I met so many great people. But in reality, man, like PPC is an investment every single month. Like you have to go into it with the resources and capital to stay in there long term. That's a whole nother conversation. But people would say, man, this program is great, but I just can't do that right now. What else can you help me with from a lead gen perspective? So I was like, man, I keep hearing this over and over and over again. And I didn't want to turn people away. I like to figure stuff out and hopefully solve people's problems and just help them and provide value. So I was like, well, what do we do? And I was like, man, probate's like pretty people know about it, but 99% of people don't take the right appropriate action towards probate. And I was like, well, what if I just put together a probate coaching program to teach people how to essentially, Charlie, just build a probate department within their business model, regardless of their exit strategy. So I'm at the point in my career, kind of my life right now, where I love the education, coaching, helping people phase, right? Like I did the transactions, I did the team, hiring, firing, accountability, all this stuff. And I just wanted to kind of slow down and just help people that were in my shoes before uh try not to make the same mistakes that I did because I made a lot of mistakes, wasted a lot of money, dude. So I don't know, man. Like I just want to help people, I suppose. And I've always been fascinated by probates, but I've always seen people talking online about how they approach them. I'm like, man, if only they knew that this is like a gold mine. If you actually put the time, energy into figuring this out, and we can go into detail if you'd like about that. You can honestly just run a probate department, and that could be your only lead source because they come out every day, every week. They're publicly available. But if you approach it the right way, it could be never ending for your business, which is really cool. And I like just teaching people that and seeing people coming back to me saying, hey, I got a probate deal. This is awesome. Like, I'm so excited. So the results are really fun to hear too.
Yeah, like our buddy Steve. I mean, he jumped in and I don't know how many appointments, calls he got like within the first week or two because I think two things. One, he followed your direction, but two, uh, like there's some like the first part's kind of hard to figure it out. And like I've seen a couple people in the course, like they can't figure it out. And like you
Yeah.
hop on a call with them and like 90 seconds later, because you've been in it for so long.
Yeah, we're talking about day one probates, and Steve is an animal. I released it to you guys in phases, right? Phase one, two,
Yeah.
and three. And I sent him phase one at like 7 p.m. at night. And at 9 o'clock at night, he was like, dude, I'm going to the courthouse tomorrow. I just read phase one. Like, awesome. Like, I can't wait to get started. And what you just said about being hard, it's hard, and that's a great thing. And I love hearing people say that because guess what, Charlie? When I'm teaching the concept of day one probates was essentially stop buying lists from people who sell probate lists because you're wasting your money. You're getting old, stale. Everyone gets it at the same time, and the approach is a little off. But day one probates is you figure out how to pull them yourself. And it's hard by design. I always joke with you guys on our class calls on Tuesdays. Whoever trained all of the people at the county clerk office to say, in the probate office, mind you, I don't know what probates are. What are you talking about? Do you have a name or a case file? If not, you can't get this information. I'm like, man, who trained this guy? Like, who trained this lady? They are phenomenal. But that is awesome. And I'll tell you why. 10 people will try to figure out probates. 9 people say, this is really hard. I'm going to give up. But not you guys in the probate engineers, the class that I have going through right now. You guys are sticking it out, putting in the effort. And this is also why I tell you everything else that you learn in this program with me, until you complete that action item, and I give you a lot of like tactical stuff to do, nothing else matters, man. Figure that out, get that written down. So eventually, Charlie, you don't have to go to the courthouse. You hire someone to leverage that part of the business. But until you figure it out, the rest of the education, the rest of the modeling and modifying, the rest of the domination part of the program doesn't mean anything. Because if you can't get probates yourself, then the program won't really help you much.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been probably one of the biggest um, complainers, I guess. You know, I tell everybody I'm strategically lazy. And like, I don't know, maybe every week I'm like, why can't I just buy a list? Why can't I just buy a list? Like, and what it finally like clicked, like what you're doing is you're giving someone autonomy. Like
Yeah.
they actually have a business that, and there's not much in real estate. You know, I ran my real estate team. There's not much in real estate where you can like actually hire almost anyone. You know, you can almost McDonaldize the system. There's not a lot in real estate you can do that because it's so complicated.
Yeah.
But you actually help people. Like when you get the system of day one probate, that's very hard to figure out. But then once you figure it out, it's actually easy to do.
Yeah. And
Um,
replicate
like
on into the next county
and
as you're
replicate.
expanding. Yeah.
Right. Like you actually own the source. You're not relying on RedX, um, Zillow. You're not relying on anyone. Like you've got the system. You can hire the person. If they don't work out, you can get someone else. Like
Yeah.
talk about like I don't know if you thought about just the autonomy. Like you said, you've got a business for life because people ain't going to stop dying.
Yeah, that's one thing. I always tell you guys, fortunately, but also unfortunately, because there happens to be a death involved, but it's a never ending lead source. So that in and of itself is huge. But yeah, I mean, the idea behind finding day ones is removing your dependency from any other person out there in the world that says, I can get you this information, right? So you're not paying them, you're figuring out on your own, and what a difference that makes in the way you operate. Not to mention, Charlie, most lead sources or lead list providers, they don't get it to you the day it comes out or the week it comes out. It's weeks or months old by that time. And then they send it, guess what? Anyone that subscribes for Nashville, Tennessee on that list gets it all at the same time. And then you're all hitting them up with the same messaging. I can buy your house. I can help sell your house. I can buy your house all at once. So the PR is getting inundated. So what if, Charlie, you could get the information yourself at first, write it out in a playbook and leverage Sam to go do it for you every single week in Nashville. And then you're just having a system set up that says, hey, this is what you do. You go down to the courthouse, or if you're lucky, you guys, you get it online. You figure out how to do it online too. But you go down to the courthouse, you pull leads, you get the 4 key pieces of information that I've taught you guys what to get. You come back, you upload that into the direct mail house, mail goes out, a call comes in, it says probate's on your phone, you answer it, you set an appointment, now you're in that. So automation is something that I've always been keen on my entire life, dating back from when I worked nuclear weapons stuff with the Air Force, and we just did checklists and systems and processes. So I took what I learned there, dude, and I'm trying to implement that. And hopefully you guys see that in this probate engineers program, but it's designed to be that never ending engine. So eventually, Charlie, you should know probates in Nashville come out every Monday at 9 a.m. You can't get them online, unfortunately. You have to go to the courthouse on 2nd Street. You go up to the 3rd floor. You go into room 305. You go to this computer bank, the one on the right that always works. You log in, you do this, you do that, you do this. That's important to figure out first. Once you have that, you can trial and error the messaging and the marketing and everything else for the rest of your real estate career. But now, guess what? You have a treasure trove of people that not only have a house to sell the majority of the time, but also are going through this extra element of the estate process that you are going to know now because you've educated yourself and you know the players, the timelines, the legal, speak of it, and you have the right people on your team that you can bring in to provide massive amounts of value to that person. So it's just like figuring it out like anything else. Like people buy Zillow leads or realtor.com leads and they don't know how to do it right away. You got to figure it out and see what works and set up something. And if it doesn't work, try something different. Same concept here, but the only difference is you own the lead record. There's no other source of truth other than the county courthouse for probate leads. So that is day one probates, and that's why it's so important to us.
Yeah. And you go into depth about, I guess the question I'd like to know, what are the myths? Like, what do most people get wrong when they try probates, when people teach probates? Like, what is it they get wrong?
Personally, I think a lot of the messaging that goes out to these families is like, I'll buy your house, I'll sell your house, whatever, exit strategy that they want. But that's not the key here. The key here is to provide massive value, not only for the property element, but for the entirety of it all. Because think of it this way, Charlie, like you're in real estate, you're an agent, you've bought houses yourself, you've listed houses for people. When you're approaching someone that raises their hand and says, hey, I'm thinking about selling, why are they hiring you? Because you've been there, you've done that, you're going to make it stress-free on them, remove the obstacles before they even know they become obstacles, and just make it a good experience. But now take that element and be like, there's a judge that's going to be reviewing files and paperwork that you have to submit in a certain order on a certain timeline. And if you don't, it can severely delay your ability to close out this probate file at the end of the day. And there's a lot of different instances and nuances of that. So what if you approached the person responsible, known as the PR, the personal representative, and said, hey, I can help you walk through not only the sale or like the direct purchase of the property, that I'm happy to buy it from you, but also all this other stuff. Because people go through a property sale maybe once or twice in their entire life, but they may rarely, if once or never, go through probate. And it's this whole new thing that they have to learn. But what if they get a message from you that says, hey, I'm not even going to bring up the property stuff yet, but here's a checklist. Here's information to put together a probate binder to keep you organized. Here's the timeline you need to be aware of. Here's the people you need to be aware of. Here's places to write down their names and phone numbers and emails. I just wanted to give that to you. And then 10 people reach out, 9 are like, I'll buy your house, I'll sell your house, I'll buy your house. And then you're like, here's this checklist that I think you might have use for. In my opinion, who do you think they might be calling first? Probably you, that gave them
Right.
this big value add. And then there's different ways that we talk about in the program to induce or show your social proof with like reviews and videos and a page on your website that's part of like the advanced mastery part of it, to help you come off as an even bigger specialist. But this niche is so in need of people to, I think, approach it the right way. So that's what we've been doing, and that's what I'm kind of passing along to anyone that goes through the program with us.
Yeah, I really appreciated how one, like you give a binder, you help me complete it for my local area. One of the things is like you lay out who all the team members are that I need and how to approach them. And specifically, like I know for me, like of course, having a great probate attorney makes
Yeah.
sense so that I'm not trying to be something I'm not. And you actually like went through some steps on like here's how you find the best probate attorney that will work for you, that will work with you. And you actually brought in one, interviewed. I learned a lot. Talk about like how like the team aspect of it, because now you're showing up really as a helper.
Yeah, this is the Power Rolodex that you're referring to in the probate engineers. So the Power Rolodex is a list of probate specific experts in whatever field that they're in. So you brought up the probate attorney. So there are attorneys that work probates, Charlie, and then there are probate attorneys. So I brought in Al Nicoletti, who's awesome. I love Al. Had him on my podcast. Like we're partnering, we're doing a bunch of really cool stuff. And he was actually the one that you just referred to as the attorney that I brought in. But Al and his practice or firm, whatever the lawyer office is, I think it's a practice, they do 95% probates. Other firms do 3 to 5%, and then they do estates and wills and all this other stuff. So just like I'm trying to teach you to become specialists in this niche, to be like 90% of my business is probates. I do this all day, every day to make yourself, what I always say, dude, you're not competing. You're learning how to separate from this pack, right? When you're marketing to these people. The same is true for the Power Rolodex individuals as well. So it's super important that you have an attorney and he or she understands the nuances of a probate when there's one probate versus, I think Al gave us that example when he went through a probate with like 12 different probates. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that was possible. Like, how did you approach that? And he's like, well, we've seen this before. Versus the probate attorney that's like, yeah, I can work probates. Like, oh, I've never seen this. I got to go figure something out. And you're like, man, this is just delaying, delaying, delaying. So part of that is not only getting great, awesome, fun people who are present and will reply to you right away and help right away. That's first and foremost. But the specialist in this niche is super important as well. So even those considerations are important because you don't want to refer someone to a probate or an attorney that doesn't really know probate. And then guess who's going to look bad when something comes up and they're not able to solve it or remove that hurdle before it comes up? Probably you. They're going to say, hey, you referred me to this attorney and like I don't think they know what they're doing. So we teach that in the probate engineers, like very specific guidelines and criteria and conversation starters of how you introduce yourself, what you tell them you're looking for, and then ultimately you add them to your Power Rolodex. And there's people with estate sales and junk removal, all different types of people inside of your Power Rolodex. And your job as this new specialist in the probate niche is to know when and where to bring those in at the appropriate time. So little things like that will help you separate yourself from the rest of the pack, and kind of again solidify the PR's perception of you as, man, Charlie really does know probate, dude. Not only did he bring me a probate attorney, the probate attorney's working for free and is going to get paid on the back end. This is excellent. Like it's going to be a lot of money, like sometimes, right? Like few $100s to thousands of dollars, depending how chaotic, I guess, the file is. But it's really important. And then what does that do for you, dude? You don't have to become an attorney and specialize in probates. You just bring one in at the right time.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I know you've got to go. You've got a busy schedule. Thanks for hopping on this. How can someone find out about probate engineers? You got a free guide that you put together that you'll offer people. So how can they find out more info?
Yeah, I am all over social with the same handle. I am Andrew Becker. We have a newly created Probate Engineers page if you want to visit that. But if you just find me on social media, I am Andrew Becker. Shoot me a DM. call me if you want. My number is 571-426-0911. That's my cell phone, and would love to chat and help out any way I can, man.
You're awesome. Thanks, Zach, for connecting us. You're a great friend, amazing business person, and have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
You too, dude. Enjoy the rest of your day as well.
All right. Bye.
Bye.